I majored in economics.
Wow.
Long time ago. Yeah. Where are you from? I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, United States. Have you heard of Atlanta? No. Atlanta is the home of Coca-Cola.
Have you studied in Georgia? Have you studied in Georgia?
Okay.
I would like to talk to you about finance. What you think about the finance situation? I want to know. So you think that your economy in the country is developing?
Obviously, the United States already a developed country.
Well, electric and your state.
What about my state?
Yeah.
Is it developed? No, it's an advanced state. Atlanta is the home of a lot of financial companies, especially a lot of software companies, banks. About what? I guess I'm not understanding your question.
In your country, what kind of industry is the most developed?
What is the
Industry.
industry? Probably technology, information technology in the United States. We used to be more of a manufacturing country, but most of our manufacturing is done. A lot of products are manufactured in China, in India, and other places. The United States is more of a technology and a financial type of a nation.
And you say that your micro is economy.
Yeah, when I was in college. Well, now I do training. I teach about leadership and management. But I worked in marketing for about 25 years, and mostly in telephone and direct mail marketing. But I did work as an economist for the telephone company many years ago, probably about almost 40 years ago that I worked in economics. In terms of doing pricing models and looking at the economic impact of price changes in our business.
Excuse me. You said the technology in your country is very developing.
Yes.
So whether calculate vật dụng là gì? Facility related relating to technology are expensive in your country?
Not really. I mean,
because your country is product is a lot of
well, in technology, it's software and hardware. For example, the United States is the home of Google and Microsoft, all the big technology companies. We're the leading country in terms of developing technology for the world, whether it's software or hardware. So I don't know if I'm not sure what your question is related to, how, if it's expensive or not. It is what it is. I don't know how it relates to Vietnam or to other countries. The U.S. is the leading supplier of technologies, software and hardware to the world.
And do you know something about the economic in Vietnam?
I don't know a whole lot. This is I just arrived yesterday. First visit to Vietnam, so I'm still learning about the culture and about the industry here and how it's growing. It's developing here. I mean, just walking around downtown, you can see all the new construction, and Vietnam is a very developing nation. So,
people say that Vietnam is a big market about telephone in the future.
okay.
Everyone at all age are using telephone very much.
I used to work for the telephone company in the United States when cellular technology was developed. That was developed in the United States by AT&T, and it took about the first cell phone. Really, the technology was discovered or developed in the mid 1980s, but it wasn't until 10 years later, so the mid 1990s, that it became affordable, where people started buying cell phones, and now the whole world has cell phones. But I believe most of our cell phones probably come from are manufactured in China or other locations, although the technology and a lot of the software is developed in China.
In your country, is it easy to get a job?
Today, no, the economy is very difficult in the United States right now. And really, only about 60% of the population that can work is working. 40% are not. And it's very difficult to get a job. You can get a degree in college, but once you get out, it's still hard to get a job. Depends on what field you study. In the United States, if you got a degree in engineering is good, doctors, lawyers, nursing is very strong, information technology, software, depending upon what software you learn.
I'm learning about technology environment and about the treatment to treat water pollution everything. And I will graduate from university on September. But when I graduated, I don't determine what I will do after.
Will you be able to get a job here in Vietnam?
Maybe if I have a job in Vietnam, I hope I can learn more about my master to can get a job in maybe in your country.
Right now, it's very difficult to get into the United States. We have a huge immigration problem, and a lot of illegal immigrants. So for people who want to come get a job, it's possible, but you have to have a connection. You have to have a company in the United States that's willing to hire you and willing to sponsor you, put through all the paperwork to get you into the country. And like most countries, we have a lot of people out of work. So for you to get a job in our country, the company has to prove that they can't find that skill already in America. So it's very difficult. Now, if you're a refugee from Syria, you can maybe get in. And other countries, there are limitations on how many people they accept every year.
Haven't you met Vietnamese students in your country?
I would say no. I don't. I've met some Vietnamese people. As a matter of fact, when I checked in my baggage at the airport, the lady at the counter was Vietnamese. She was surprised I was going to Vietnam. So.
Yes.
And we have, obviously, in the United States, there's a lot of Vietnamese that came here after the war, came to the United States. So they're predominantly in certain states like California, but there's a Vietnamese community in Atlanta as well.
Yes, because I know your country is very rich, and Vietnam is just developing, so
Right.
It's very hard for people who want to go to your country to study or work. So if Vietnamese students want to go to your country to study, do you think what should students should do to live in your country? Can you understand?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot of foreign students in the United States,
Yeah.
from China, from India, all over the world. And studying in the United States is probably not as difficult
Really?
to do. Right. If you want to study in the United States, there are scholarships, there are ways to get a student visa to come and study.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to get a job in the United States. But I have a friend from Peru, for example, who came to the U.S. He got to go to college, university, to study in medicine, and he had a hard time finding a job because a lot of companies don't want to hire people because of all the extra costs of getting approval for a foreign student to work in the United States. So that's usually the best way because you're already in the United States, you've lived there, you get to know the culture, and you get to learn the language better, and it makes it easier to get a job.
Yeah.
When I worked in business, even 20 years ago, many foreign people, a lot of Indians in particular, usually in software and engineering type jobs, not so much in other jobs. To go in healthcare, for example, there are a lot of doctors from all over the world. I was in the hospital 10 years ago. All the nurses, all the doctors are all from other countries. Very few from the United States.
What? Do you have any questions?
Do I have any questions?
What? I asked my friends.
Cái đó thì được rồi, cái đó gì nữa.